And a very warm welcome back to the World Championship Series Europe, round of 16, Group D. Blimey, as they say in the UK. We've had 3 matches in Group D. Time now to turn our attention to the 4th game. I'm just going to keep going on, it's great. And our 4th game is going to be the winners bracket game between StarDust and ForGG. The people in the audience heard absolutely nothing of that introduction, so I could have been saying all sorts of crazy stuff. We're also going to show you the bracket right now. If you weren't with us earlier on, you missed a cracking game between StarDust and MC. StarDust coming through against the former WCS European champion. The current one, of course, is StarDust. And he'll now take on ForGG for the first position in Group D, our 7th player through to the round of 8. Don't forget the round of 8 draw is this evening as well. It'll take place right after our final game, which will be MC versus the loser of this game. Dennis is back with me. Before we talk about this game, I just want to make a point, actually, to anyone at home that loves StarCraft 2. I know there's lots of you tuning in right now. Battle.net right now, go to battle.net right now, and they've actually put up the map pool for Season 4 right now. You can go and vote for it. Your votes are actually going to make a difference, and are going to choose the 7 maps in the map pool for Season 4. Of course, no WCS, so we can have some fun with some old school maps. Dennis, there's some real old favourites in here. Steps of War. Shakura's Plateau is on there as well. Yeah, you're probably all right with that one. Telder Immorta. Yeah, Neo Planet S. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to go down too well. Zelnaga Caverns is on here. Habitation's on here. Cloud Kingdom's on here. Ohana's on here.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few very interesting
great maps. Yeah,
but like, I don't know, Metalopolis and Steps of War.
That's on there as well. Steps is on there.
I hope if Metalopolis makes it, and I think the community will vote for it, actually, I hope it doesn't have close position anymore.
Yes.
I hope Blizzard remembers what happened when it was close.
Yes, not good. And I think Kalaris right now is busy picking the funky maps. Let's just put it like that. I saw him doing some funky picks. So if you don't want some maps to get in because of Kalaris, make sure you head over to battle.net right now and check out the map points. So a really cool idea from Blizzard. We're really thankful that we get a chance to go and play some StarCraft 2 and some historic maps. Maps that we haven't played in Heart of the Swarm, some of those.
That's true, not at all. For a very long time, there's some very old ones. Zelnaga Caverns, as you mentioned.
2010, Zelnaga's 4 years old.
That was close, and
It was very close.
And I personally, I don't want to see Daybreak because I think it would be too stalemate for the most matchups. But I think some others could be very, very cool.
It could be a lot of fun, couldn't it? And we're definitely going to find out as we head into Season 4. Right now, we're in Season 3 of WCS, so let's focus on our 4th match. It is the winners' game, ForGG versus StarDust. Is that what you expected it to be?
Kind of, yeah. I think StarDust was the favorite against MC by a little bit in PvP. It came down to a single observer being sniped in the very last map, and then ForGG being the huge favorite against Daishi, and he was proving both maps. Yeah, exactly that. He was just kind of crushing him. I mean, the first map, maybe Daishi had some shots, but he was moving out very early on, and ForGG got the damage he was looking for and just finished it up with a one-base attack.
Do you think that ForGG will look at that matchup, that TVP game that Daishi played, and think, oh, actually, yeah, I could probably do all right in here. And Terrans have been doing all right against Protoss recently as well. Yeah,
they have a slightly different style, I would say, but definitely. We saw ForGG going over to Daishi after the games, talking to him a little bit, and I believe they definitely shared their opinions about the matchup, maybe even about the strategies, or made up something together. And yeah, why not? I mean, obviously, they both play Terran, they both played on a very high level, and you can always share information when you just played against one guy.
Yeah, so I always find it very difficult at this position in the group because the 2 guys who are in the winners' final have done nothing wrong so far. They've won both their games, but one loss here and they dropped down, and then another loss, and suddenly they're not in the round of 8, and yet they were 1 game away, if you like. So it's a real mental thing, this at this point of the group.
Yeah, especially for StarDust. If he loses, he's going to face MC for the rematch, and you could argue in PvP that you might already used your builds to win the best of 3, because PvP can be tricky and stuff. But on the other hand, I think both of these players have so many different builds. Maybe even we will see different maps, actually. I could see them vetoing a bit different maps just to have something else. And yeah, But if I have to pick one for StarDust ForGG, I would go with StarDust, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, I mean, he has been the form player over the last few months in terms of WCS. As we head into the map vetoes right now, obviously the winner of last season, Season 2, WCS, reigning champion right now. MC said earlier on in the interview that he didn't feel like he played very well in the first game, felt that he wasn't really ready for it, he's a little bit nervous, which is unusual for him. He's not normally the most nervous of players. Now that he's not and he's a bit more relaxed, I don't think StarDust wants to drop down now and face him again. It's funny, actually, because when we've watched matches like that, Korean players especially seem to figure it out faster than maybe the foreigners do. So when they play a player again that they've lost to, they often win the second time round. It's crazy how many times we see that.
That's somewhat of a curse, actually. It happened to me personally quite often as well, that you win the first set and then you lose in the decider one if you don't take the first 2 matches, because then you advance anyways. So if you put every strategy in one basket in the first best of 3 and you have nothing to follow up, it's going to be extremely hard if you face the same guy again.
Digwing, King Sejong, Nimbus, Foxtrot, all pretty much as we thought, except for Catalina.
Catalina is in there. Yeah. It's a little bit interesting. Medivacs are very, very strong on that map.
Probably third map, though, do you think, here? Well...
I mean, StarDust actually let it in, so maybe he has somewhat of a build prepared for it. Okay,
wow,
but Mary goes the second one.
That's a little bit more sensible, I guess, if we need it. But we're going to start off on Overgrowth. Pretty much the, de facto kind of standard map. It's the Frost of this season, if you like. It's the one that almost everyone's okay with. Terran's all right with it, except for Daishi, it seems. And Protoss and Zerg are okay with it as well. So it's a good
map. Yeah, it's a good map.
Okay.
I'd say it's slight favorite for ForGG, the second and third map, but not by much. And StarDust for sure has some builds, even on the maps that are not that good for Protoss by standard or by default. And I mean, we will find out.
We spoke a little bit earlier on today about StarDust has matured a lot over the last 12 months in the way that he plays the game and the way his builds have kind of, come on. And 12 months ago, we were always talking and teasing him a little bit, actually, about how much cheese he used. And he did use a lot, and that's how he found that he won matches. So I guess that's okay, but in the last 12 months, he's really added an awful lot of different types and different styles to his game. But do you think maybe against a Terran like ForGG, maybe the cheesy style is actually going to suit him better?
I mean, why not? Why not throw it in there? Definitely, I think on Overgrowth we will see more of a macro game by him. Maybe some Warp Rhythm with High Templars in there. Something similar we saw from MC on the third map. Maybe not in Archon, but for Storm Drops. I know that StarDust loves to do that. And the second and third map definitely could be something like Blink All In or Proxy Oracle, for example.
He's got to find a way of countering ForGG's aggressiveness, because we know how good he is at that, and he's going to try and frustrate. He's going to go in early. He's going to be aggressive early as he possibly can, and try and rattle StarDust into making mistakes, like he did with Daishi, which it showed very clearly in those 2 maps.
Yes, ForGG is extremely strong with the first 2 and the first 4 Medivacs, I would say. In these small skirmishes where the Protoss doesn't have too much units yet, and you can micro very well with Stimpack Medivacs, that's where ForGG is extremely strong, and you need to be careful as a Protoss that you don't take too much damage, because once he's ahead, he's not going to give it away anymore.
Absolutely. Who'd you go with for this game?
I go with StarDust, 2-1 though.
Okay, so you think it's going to be close? Got to agree, can't disagree with our Protoss star here at the table. Man who has been with mousesports for more than 10 years, as we were talking about yesterday. It's such an achievement. And these two right now are fighting it out for the first position in the round of 16 Group D. Who goes through as the 7th man? Let's find out with your commentary team, Kalaris and Apollo.
That's right, Red Eye. The round of 8 currently consists of 4 Terrans, 1 Protoss, and 1 Zerg. Will we have another Terran there to join them, or will StarDust add to the ranks of the Protoss? Something tells me StarDust might have an edge here. I think he's looking good today, and I think he's still doing pretty well against Terrans.
StarDust is looking good. There's 2 sides to look at it as well. He's just returned back from Korea, but he wasn't practicing there like he was when he did so well in the previous season.
Yeah.
In the previous season, he was playing at the CJ house. He came back, and he was just nailing it. This time, he went to Korea more so for a vacation, but still played StarCraft on the Korean server and had some obviously very good games and a good learning experience. So whether you're an optimistic guy or not, you can choose whatever you want there. But I have to favor StarDust no matter what here against ForGG.
Yeah.
StarDust so unpredictable, is capable of anything. ForGG is going to have to enter this series and play solid, make no mistakes, and just identify what he's playing against. And I think that may be a little bit too difficult against a player like StarDust.
Yeah, ForGG, as you said, it's going to be difficult. I have to agree. Here is StarDust, a guy that across every single matchup in the WCS so far has got a stellar win ratio. Absolutely stellar. And our first map is going to be Overgrowth between these two, as the countdown has already begun. So one of these two is going to be moving on to the round of 8. It would be actually mind-boggling if we had another Terran and then we ended up with so many Terrans in the round of 8. But at the same time, going through StarDust is a tall order. He is our current reigning champion here at WCS Europe. He's looking for at least a round of 8 finish, at least top 4. He wants to go all the way. And standing in his way so far is this man down to the bottom left-hand corner. It's our red Terran representing Team Millennium. It is ForGG. And up to the top right-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss looking to move on. Once again, representing my insanity, it is StarDust.
I think a lot of people are forgetting here that hasn't been talked about. You know, with StarDust and ForGG meeting each other in the semi-finals last season.
True.
We saw a 3-1 in favor of StarDust. To be honest, that was the season where I was all on ForGG. Just he was nailing it. He was playing so well. He was doing excellently. He was just executing all he needed to do at the right times, all the time. But still got bested by StarDust. 3-1, and StarDust went to the finals, then won the whole thing. And he really stopped ForGG from what I thought could have been his season. They meet again here, and you know, I took the time out this afternoon to have a quick look at the previous series and what kind of happened between the both of them. I know it doesn't kind of impact the strategies we'll see today, but it definitely shows the styles of both players. The first game, StarDust just did a huge 2-2 timing, double Forge Colossus style that ended up winning the game. ForGG played normal, moved out, lost units, died to a counter, as simple as that. Game 2, there was a weird habitation station goal-based strategy that was used, as they always were used all that time. And, you know, again, StarDust won that game. Game 3, Proxy Gateway. Game 4, Proxy Stargate. You know, wins and losses across the board, but it just shows the diversity that StarDust has here. ForGG going incredibly greedy with his opening here. Command Center and Engineering Bay. Against StarDust here, who has not scouted and has not got a Zealot in the production as of yet. And if he doesn't build that, which he doesn't look like he's going to, okay, he does start it. He's going to fall behind. It's a fully complete Engineering Bay. This is a very good start here for ForGG.
Very good start. Just straight going there, not even checking what's going on in his opponent's main base. Doesn't really care too much. That probe comes down and is a sad probe, to say the least, as he does find this. But whilst all of this is going on, it's also important for ForGG to do well in this group. He is sat on the bubble, really, on the verge. He's very, very highly ranked. A top 2 position is so important for him here during this tournament to keep his BlizzCon chances alive. Anything lower than a top 2 makes it very, very difficult for him ever to get far.
Top 2 right now would sit him at 19th in the ranking. And then he would have to
do well at DreamHack.
Get a top 2, if not win DreamHack as well. So it is definitely a chance, but a hard one.
A very difficult one, very difficult indeed. But anyway, so he's got the caliber, he could do it, but there's still a lot stood in his way. StarDust is one of those players, the reigning champion, and he's not going to be doing anything in half measures. He's going to be pulling tons of punches here against ForGG, I suspect.
And ForGG looking to the top left here in case there's a proxy structure or something, because he's delayed the Nexus by so much. He's actually very far ahead in this game, despite the suppliers saying something different. As long as that bunker's complete down the bottom here, he's going to be able to just defend against this, obviously push out and just further his lead. Nexus is very, very much so delayed. He's just 25 seconds in out of 100 structure.
Poking around, having a little bit of a look. Sees that the command center is completely done, and is going to be a little bit sad about that, as he now fully understands exactly what he's going to be playing against, really. Aside from what's going on in the main base, at least he knows it is that command center first.
Robotics facility anyway here for StarDust, not wanting to try an Oracle to try to capitalize on the SEVs. If he didn't make it work, he'd fall further behind than he would do if he did get some, obviously. So he's just going to play Robotics Facility, and Forge pretty fast in with this as well.
And all in all, I mean, ForGG is playing a style where he's, with the 3 barracks, I should say, he's going to have a lot of units out pretty darn fast. So the Robo is very, very important to eventually transition onto like a normal position of having Colossi out, just in case like that bio push would come.
Yeah, especially because he's not getting a second add-on on the second barracks either. He's just 1 barracks, 1 add-on, and then going to start pumping out Marines from all 3, or all 2, sorry. And then Marauder, you'd imagine, from the... No, all Marines, actually, so Stim straight away.
Ooh, wow.
So if he's going to go full Marine here, he does have a chance to move out with a handful of Marines to try to force the overcharge. Maybe move in again when Stim is done.
A little backflip from that SCV as it dies. But
ForGG just doesn't know what's going on. He knows he's ahead, and usually a Protoss will try to capitalize in some form. But he's got Marines inside his main base. He's got a second bunker. He's still trying to figure out if StarDust is going to try something here, but we know that StarDust isn't. So ForGG, he's got to be very careful here not to lose his lead because he's playing overly defensive.
Yeah, he's just playing it straight. If he's actually putting any Chrono Boost into that Forge, he could get that out pretty fast and then go on to the +1 as well and hit quite a nice timing along with those. But since the Robo Bay is going down behind all of this as well, he wasn't really cutting too many corners.
Yeah, ForGG are reluctant to scan at all. All about the money, as anyone is.
Money. Yeah. So Twilight Council on the way behind all of this as well. And ForGG just making sure that the starport is a good time, because of course you always have to be wary of if somebody's going to do something like this. And he'll really want the information soon enough. Robo Bay down at this particular time. Colossus being his Chrono Boost out as fast as possible here.
Now StarDust going to look inside his opponent's main base for the first time properly here in this game, and sees the barracks, sees the Marine count. He's going to have a look for that factory. Whereabouts is it in this game? And he sees the reactor, so he'll probably take a quick move up to the left and see that too. And also sees the 3rd command center, so knows that it's not the 4th and 5th barracks. And can identify that he's in a pretty decent spot here, to be honest. He's going to be able to defend against the push out very shortly, as he has Blink and his Colossus out. And then he will slowly start to take his 3rd momentarily. And from that position, just be kind of comfortable.
Yeah, 3 extra gateways being planted down here too for StarDust. Oh, 4 extra gateways. So quite the burst there as +1 and Blink come along as well. He's actually got quite a good tool set available to him here, does StarDust, with all of this lining up.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, Blink, and then a decent unit count here. If ForGG makes any mistakes when he moves out here, he loses anything. But obviously, a blink into the main base to stop the medivacs, where the, ForGG loses the medivacs in the attack, could lead to a counterattack because there are 7 gateways here as well. But this should be a 3rd base coming out from StarDust. It's a very standard setup for him. And it's all going to come down to, since the way that this is played out, ForGG obviously in the supply lead because of the way this game played out in the early stages. Can he further his lead now the medivacs are in play?
He made it look like he was going for an expansion, but the probe moved towards an aggressive pylon spot. And as I was saying before, the tool set that's available here, he has opportunity, because if he's covering his Colossi with Blink Stalkers on a push forwards, I mean, ForGG is already kind of identifying. A second starport is already being added on for him.
Well, ForGG finds the probe and pylon on the left-hand side, and that is obviously a little bit weird here. So ForGG is going to be on alert. A quick look up here. Remember, Blink is going to be available in 10 seconds here. Luckily, it backs off, and I think ForGG is starting to get a little bit worried what's going on here, but he already has 2 bunkers, didn't salvage them. A second starport's finishing up now. And if this doesn't work for StarDust, he's going to be in trouble. He catches one of the medivacs, though. Now Blink is done.
Oh, yeah, that's a very nice start for him. As during all of that, it's, well, 3 medivacs now, but Viking production needs to start.
A Marine spotted no 3rd. A Marine spotted no 3rd. He's double-checking again.
Yeah, checking it. Finds it, and
just got to defend. I think ForGG is going to defend this.
Interestingly enough, Pro Production as well as Templar Archives have started behind all of this as well. So I guess it's a poke and a prod. See if he can do much, but with all of that happening behind here, I guess he just falls back and makes it look like he was going for something.
There's so many units here. Bunkers and SCVs and now double starport Vikings.
It's so strange. He's going to kill off the factory. Great stuff, but all that's really doing is scouting. Oh, nice repair.
Yeah, he's just going to go good here, and the Nexus is going to try to get planted. Marine denies it, so ForGG knows the intentions have drifted away from the attack, which means we'll see the salvage of the bunkers very, very shortly. And a big opportunity to push out soon. Storm is massive. Massive, massive upgrade in this game. He needs to get it out, because until he gets that upgrade in and High Tempo around, he is pretty weak, man. The Viking count's going to be at 9 to 3 Colossus. He needs to not build another gas unit. Storm must be the next. It must be the next 200 gas.
Absolutely, and there we go.
He has to work on that immediately now.
So far, he only has the 3 Colossus to hold on against. There's a lot of Zealots are in there, and Charge will be on the way pretty soon, but ForGG's army is gathering quite a lot of momentum. 92 army supply against 78. Warp Prism being added in as well here for StarDust to try and buy him some time whilst he gets himself set up at that 3rd.
Yeah, buy him some time, or maybe put the High Templar in it and try to make some magic work now, because the way that this has played out is not worked in his favor for sure. ForGG had a great opener. He spotted what was going on. He already had a huge army. Storm will complete by the time this happens, but there are 3 High Templar, limited storms. If they are dodged well, ForGG is going to look good here.
There's so many Vikings, so many. He's already up to 9. He's adding on 4 more, and they've come out at such a rapid pace that the Colossus count just hasn't been able to keep up. Yeah, of course, he didn't go any further than 3, but he's actually going to take the straight engagement before Charge had finished, so that was a nice opportunity there for ForGG to do some damage. Charge is now done, though, so he's got to be very careful.
Backs out. Nice movement out there.
Yeah.
Force field kind of helps ForGG a little bit.
Yeah, working against those Zealots.
Oh, Storm on the edge. Not really that many deaths, a couple, but not a lot. Warp Prism 4 Zealots actually going to go to the main base here.
And now there's just going to be High Templar littering every single angle. As that 3rd base gets set up, as he adds on his gases there as well. He needs to. Yeah, you're right.
And moves forward here. Only 3 medivacs in this. There's so many Vikings, 14. 3 more being added on, but this... is the Warp Prism going to last long? Vikings are... No, the medivacs aren't they? Never mind. They will last.
Yes, it will. Yeah, that would have been very handy if it had been popped out and been Vikings, but alas, that's not the case. Gets himself a few workers, which is a nice start, as some of them even have to come to the aid against that and do a bit of fighting. But the Vikings should be able to hunt down that
ForGG's pulling his entire army to defend this. StarDust realizing just moves down.
Yeah, that's maybe not the best choice, because doing some damage here and crippling this 3rd base will help out a lot. Also, the Warp Prism got out during all of this. The Vikings had to turn around and try and deal with the main force. And they're naked. They don't have any bio with them, so they were a little bit vulnerable. So that was a good blink forward to try and take the initiative.
Now, a lot of High Templar here.
And actually, that storm hit the entirety of that split force to try and catch the High Templars. He does have a lot of storms. He's got to be so careful about how he engages this.
The Vikings.
They found a good angle. Going to start working at one of those Colossi. And
if ForGG catches this army,
another good storm. Still needs to land even more. That second storm on those Vikings did massive damage. Another storm is really, really going to hurt these Vikings. Gobbling forwards, and, well, as all the Vikings die, there's only 1 Colossus left. Can it do enough damage to really hold on against this? There's really not that many storms left over here, and ForGG has actually microed out of these storms into a position where there's not really that much gateway force to deal with it. Meanwhile, we have some harassment at the back as well, and he can just stim around and kill off the last Colossus.
Yeah, he's going to pick up this army. I'm not sure he'd pick up the game, though. He's got to deal with these Zealots, and that'll buy enough time here for a couple more High Templar and so on to get warped in here for StarDust. There is quite a bit of bio left over for sure.
And StarDust understands that every single gateway of his is being Chrono Boost behind this. He wants the reinforcements. He wants to finish this as quickly as possible, knowing the advantage is seized.
And I wonder if he'll even try High Templar here. It might be just better to build an army more so than try to get storms down.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
The Warp Prism's going to buy him even more time here. There's a Storm drop on the natural with a couple of Zealots as well.
And ForGG is just reeling at this point, just reeling. He's already lost 37 workers during all of this, plus 2 weapon starts up as well. And he can even go for Storm drops on just a few SCVs. Any kill here is really nice for him on the mineral lines.
And the Medivac's low in energy, low bio force here. It's just very, very weak. And as you can see, 8 Zealots being warped in, Immortals being added on. By the time ForGG actually clears this up, which he looks to do shortly, by the time he moves over the other side of the map, which he has to do, being at 17 SCVs, he can't play it long. He has to go for a fight. StarDust is ready.
Yeah, he's just building up back at home, getting ready and good to go for the next fight. And I'm not really sure how ForGG is going to win this out. His Bioforce is just too low in health, as you were mentioning before.
Yes, it's going to be an easy pickup here for StarDust. I think he's got a couple of storms with this army as it is. And there is just so little here for ForGG. And once again, StarDust seems to be getting the better end of him. He's just taking better fights, better army moves, and better storms consistently.
Great set of storms there. Catches the bio as they're moving right into that area. And StarDust now just swaps in extra units. GG. Game number 1 goes to StarDust after, well, giving us a little bit of a masterclass, showing us that it's pretty simple once he gets into those positions, and he drew his opponent out of some nice spots as well.
Yeah, it's just, I have to say that was rather easy for StarDust. I think that ForGG got a great start in this game. StarDust planned an attack that didn't do anything there, that's, you know, pushed ForGG into a better position. But despite that, StarDust knew what to do. Well, it was very cool under the crisis that he had to deal with. Got the storm out, took good fights, warped in a lot of high tempo, defended, and then just was able to warp Prism around, and ForGG crumbled. ForGG's army control was not the best there. He lost a lot to just simple mistakes of his own. StarDust just looked great.
Yeah, and in the end, it's a scary thing to deal with and identify from the Terran perspective, to say, are you really committing to this? Aren't you? What are you doing behind all of this? Because right now I'm just geared up for the defense, and all my eggs are planted in the basket of the don't die basket. Because other than that, StarDust just wasn't committing. He didn't care. He said, well, okay, you're sitting back at home. I guess I'm just going to go back and continue on.
Yeah, it was just a very good game from StarDust. It's looking great today. Great series versus MC earlier, and of course now looking good again versus ForGG. No, never mind, I didn't write the maps. I'm not sure which next map is down here, but ForGG, is he going to face elimination again? Of course, he's a semi-finalist from last season, but despite the 2 semi-finals he's achieved in WCS, is, you know, tough to say, not quite achieve what he wanted to when it comes to results. He's obviously been wanting more than just 2 semi-finals over 2 years worth of WCS. He's been eliminated in the round of 32 quite a lot. He's been eliminated here quite a bit. And the thing is with ForGG, he's never had all 3 matchups at the same level. His Terran versus Terran has always been his best, and then it's kind of been, you know, a tackle between his Terran versus Zerg being the worst, or his Terran versus Protoss being the worst. But last season was, of course, his greatest. If he manages to turn this around versus StarDust, I would not be afraid to say that he's a favorite for the tournament if he can beat StarDust here and move through in first place.
That's a good point. And overall, I mean, you got to consider, you know, ForGG had a great start too today, showing us why he is a PvT monster oftentimes. But now is his real task. All of these 2 Protoss are his real task, because they both hold such good records against Terrans. So ForGG going up against StarDust, and then if he doesn't win this one, MC, it might be a tough road.
Yeah, I think this is, you just have to win here. You can't, you show so much of your strategy and build orders to StarDust here, and then MC can obviously pick up on that, so you become weaker going into the next series. It's like StarDust has 2 chances because they're so similar in MC, and MC spotted and everything ForGG's doing here. Time to turn it around. Merry-go-round, perfect map to do so.
All right, let's get into it. As we have spawning down to the south, it's our Terran in the red, representing Millennium. It's ForGG. And up to the top left-hand corner are blue Protoss. Representing my insanity, it is StarDust.
Start off, of course, one of the most successful players in the World Championship Series Europe when it comes to results and stats. Just fantastic performances season after season. Not quite as high as MC, of course, but StarDust, the first season he played, he did get a top 6, and then from that, a top 8. And then, of course, a first place finish last season. He's never been eliminated in the round of 16 and round of 32 naturally there. And something tells me he's not going to be today either. Even if he was to drop this one, I think he has the upper hand against MC.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. That first series, you know, it showed that StarDust is able to really compete at the very highest level of PvP, or the higher levels of PvP. Not going to compare it to the Zest and Rain levels of Korea, because that would be a little bit of a folly, as we haven't really seen them being able to play one another. But for now, behind all of this, I wonder if StarDust does something a little bit crazy here. Do you think he even needs to?
No, not really. I think that game 1 is just the, all right, yeah, I can still beat ForGG kind of game.
Yeah.
Because, of course, with StarDust being away from Europe for a little bit, hasn't played against ForGG on the ladder recently. Obviously, there's always hype around ForGG coming into tournaments because he has the potential to be a winner, yet never won anything surprisingly for him, when it comes to Premier tournaments. But I just think he's gone into them like, yeah, same old 4GG. I can do this.
Yeah. I mean, he's come close to winning. He came close to winning a few times, most noticeably against Mana in ESWC, but then he was trumped. He was trumped, so unfortunately for 4GG, the glory is not there just yet.
Yes, this is 4GG just needs to do this game, this series. It has to be the way to advance from this group. You do not want to get thrown down to MC, who's going to make a recovery. He's probably speaking and watching this series right now. 4GG needs to show what he's got. He needs to do it in this series. Otherwise, if he doesn't, I fear for the rest of his day.
Yeah. Well, the Reaper's on the way now to have a little bit of a look around as Nexus has been planted behind all of this for StarDust. So standard game pretty much from him on his side of things, just adding on the second gas behind it all.
Yeah, Nexus squeezed out there before the Mothership Core on second gas, so it's a decently timed Nexus. And it's just regular barracks play once again here from 4GG, so just looking very standard here. Of course, as soon as he gets the barracks, he jumps straight back into gas, as he will be requiring an add-on very shortly. But the difference here for 4GG is that he does have a reactor first instead of his tech lab previously, because he's decided to go for the Reaper, then the reactor follow-up.
The mercy of the Reaper knows no bounds, as the Reaper wants to get more information than kills by the looks of things. And didn't really see huge amounts. 2
out of the 3 pylons there, so if he was planning to scan, but something tells him he's not. If he didn't in the previous game, he probably won't here either.
Hello.
Yeah, Twilight Council coming out from StarDust here. Can either choose from Blink or DTs, depending on what he feels here. Blink, of course, could work wonders if 4GG was overly greedy. No bunker, minimal units. Maybe if 4GG moves out at a normal time and Blink is complete, he could end up losing everything here if he doesn't find that Twilight Council. And it is going to be concussive shell, so he is going to move out with his first couple of units.
Yeah, and I don't mind this too much considering it's Twilight Council. I'm anticipating Blink.
It depends if it's extra gateways or not.
What the? How did you find him, you sneaky Reaper? That was well done. That was well done. Oh, but he got an SCV over the other side with a Mothership Core, so blow for blow. But of course, why would that probe be patrolling at that location? So
it is going to be Dark Templar.
Whoa! All right then.
So you kind of will need to squeeze out a probe somehow.
It's going to get seen.
If he's going to want to get this happening fast.
Reaper. It could get seen if he just decides to go straight in and have a look around.
But the most important part here is, the 3 barracks and concussion shells. There's only the photon overcharge. It's a single gateway. There's only 1 gateway. He's at 3 stalkers.
He's playing it very greedy. Very greedy.
And this could do some damage here, of course.
Gateway's going to try and block that in overall, but you're right.
Depends on how much time StarDust buys here. There's no probe that's escaped, so the DTs are only going to be around this. No, he's going to try the probe now as the Reaper moves out, but at the same time, the units walk in.
Oh, there's photon overcharge. Okay, trying to push forward, getting 1 stalker itself, but they're being pushed away by the probes. Trying to get the second stalker, but doesn't do too much. He got 1 stalker for that, and all importantly, he didn't see the Dark Shrine.
And he didn't get any probes.
Yeah.
And the probe escaped too.
Uh-oh.
So 4GG throws away all these units to kill a single probe and a single stalker and not get any information on what tech this is. Is he going to scan?
Wait a minute. He didn't even see the Twilight Council. Never mind the Dark Shrine.
No, he saw nothing in this game here. So very unfortunate there. He saw a couple of gateways being added on, but didn't know what that was. 1 DT is on the way to the other side of the map now. Does 4GG have a feeling what this is? Knows. He calls down mules.
Well, it's around 15 seconds to another scan.
+1, isn't it? Yeah, he's not going to build a turret.
No, not at all. It's
so 2 DTs are going to walk in.
Oh, dear me.
And then behind this, we already have Blink on the way, armor in the robotics facility, which will go up to Colossus soon.
I think he saw the blur.
He sees it.
Yeah, he sees it.
He's trying to block his ramp. Oh, great block, and he's actually got a scan available now. So that was brilliant. Really good defense there. When it's not over yet.
Yeah, seeing that blur, really, really good reaction times. Cancels the bunker. Why would you need that, of course? And just slightly outside of the range of that scan. He does have another scan in around 6 seconds or so, though, as this missile turret is trying to finish up here as well. Just taking a few swipes, a few pot shots at some of these Marines.
Very good defense there. Very good. Very, very good. Very impressed there by 4GG.
Yeah, very well done. Good block. Good crisis management.
Yeah. Surprisingly, though, he's still 34 SCVs to 55 in this after all of that. Hardly any SCVs were actually killed there, only a few. Another one down. Actually, StarDust finds a way in to get 2 more probes.
How does he manage that? Well, he even runs out of range of that missile turret, so now he's going to have to, I guess, try and get a few Consolidation Marines and get out there. Or just one. All right.
Well, 2 Widow Mines have been made.
It's a lot of extra
And a
gateways.
medivac here. Is he going to try and drop these Widow Mines in the... Yeah, he is. I'm going to attempt this.
I think he might just go for a 2
This could work.
base.
There's obviously no observers yet. Just no, actually, I say that just one popped out, but where is it going to be? This medivac has not been spotted.
It looks like it's en route to go over to the other side of the map.
If this works, this puts ForGG right back in the running.
Yeah, it does.
No,
it stopped.
Even then, still got to react on time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And third Nexus, he's hiding it in the same place, Sean. Oh my God.
Widow Mine. Widow Mine.
React, react, react. Uh-oh, he didn't react. Boom.
7.
Okay, he did react this time.
The movement out from ForGG had the attention of StarDust.
Yes, it did. As that did quite a considerable amount of damage. 7 workers. Okay, so units are now 50 to 40. But again, he's hiding another Nexus in the same place. So, of course, he'll be able to, or should be able to, hold off against this.
Well, there's a lot of bioforce here. There's not that many units.
Where?
A DT gets walked in. There is a scan available shortly. There's also a Widow Mine here, and this is a lot of units.
Yeah, it is. He almost lost the Nexus during that good force field, so let's split this up a little bit. Widow Mine goes off and hits a lot of those Zealots at the front.
Oh, the DT escapes. Means he can actually re-enter that fight.
Yes, he can, and he didn't lose the Nexus during all of that, but...
Yeah, with Zealot Charge now finished, I think StarDust is fine now.
Yeah, I think so too. Should be okay holding on, but again, all of these knock-on effects. You go for Twilight Council earlier on, you don't have the Colossi for the follow-up pushes if they come along. More force fields, gonna work against the Zealots more so than not only catching 3 of the bio units on the right side of them.
There's that first Colossus. Come on, Colossus, you're taking forever.
Yeah, no Chrono Boost going into it just yet. I don't even know if he actually has energy for Chrono Boosts. Yes, he has a few on the main Nexus, but he's Chrono Boosting into probes for now. And he lifts up and goes into the main. Not seen. Uh-oh. Well, he could actually snipe the Robo. If he gets the Robo before that first Colossus comes out, it's falling very, very quickly. That Colossus is not going to enter the game. And it's just gateway units. Oh, wow.
DT and Zealots, though, inside the SCV line. More SCVs are going to die here.
Trying to bring down some of this bio, getting as many SCVs as he can do with that Dark Templar still going to town. And he's got himself 15 kills overall.
I mean, to be honest, I think because he can't build Colossus, he can just continue to add on upgrades and just sprinkle DTs around for his defense. Make sure he adds on more Stalkers because he has Blink. Zealot Charge is done, a few DTs in there for extra damage. There's definitely an opportunity here, which is why we're seeing a cannon being added on. There's an opportunity here for ForGG. There is no Photon Overcharge this time.
Yeah. And you can't transition extra probes over to the new mining base because it takes a little bit more time, and you can't use recall for them because you need photon overcharges at the potential of your opponent pushing. So it's a little bit of a catch-22 in the end.
Oh, this move is distracted from the main fight as well. Actually, ForGG, great pickup.
Yeah, StarDust actually reacted well in time with the force fields to catch those, but again, as you said, it's a good pickup. He pulls away. This is still a lot of bioforce behind all of this. That cannon trying to help out where it can. Charge also holding on quite a bit as well, because +1 armor is pretty strong.
Yeah, you need some DTs in here.
There they are.
There are scans available.
And
great target fire.
Oh, yeah, focusing those down, bringing down the big damage dealers of this, and the Kai back on the Zealot. There's just, with no splash damage here, how is StarDust supposed to hold?
It's so funny, this is just 3 barracks worth of units from ForGG just rebuilding. StarDust just needs to stabilize here, and he's going to be in good shape, but I'm not sure he can.
No, he just doesn't have the firepower to push all of this bio back. He's constantly rallying forwards with
so
just a few
close,
units.
so far, that robotics facility snipe was so big for this game.
Yes, it was, and the Nexus will fall as well. So that really limits how much StarDust actually has to his name here. Gotta be very careful now. Gotta be very careful, because ForGG must be thinking, well, I've just built your Nexus. You should be on one base. How are you trying to hold on during all of this?
Well, he's going to hold on with everything he can now. There is going to be a Colossus coming out very, very shortly to help assist this, but he may be able to stim or drop on the Colossus itself. And unfortunately for his, StarDust is in a bit of trouble.
Yes, he is. 50 works is 43, but it's not really mattering too much, as that one Colossus is going to pop out and push this away for now. But the follow-up attack for ForGG, if he has... Does he have his 5 barracks pumping away now? I guess he must do.
No, Storm 3.
Storm 3? It's been quite a while.
Another DT gets whooped in here. There is no scan. So this DT is actually pretty big because he used his mules this second.
Ooh.
He actually did have a scan, but that Dark Temple is going to chase him away, and maybe that's the time that StarDust needs now to get a second Colossus and also the Nexus down, while continuing to defend here.
Yep, this base up to the top right needs to do a lot of work for him to actually do well in this game. Of course, though, again, I gotta say, ForGG's production is like a little bit slower than usual because of how the game has developed. So, but he's adding on 4 barracks now. I mean, he's got his 3rd command center on the way. He can fly that over. I don't think there's too much pressure that can be put on unless, of course, how many Vikings does he have? No Vikings. He actually went up to 8 medevacs during all of that. Well, I mean, you can if you snipe out of Robo, right? There's no reason not to.
Yeah. 54 probes, though. That 3rd Nexus is helping to the top right.
Yeah.
There are 9 probes on it.
He should be spending all the chrono boost on that one, actually, and just constantly pumping away at the probes up there.
Widow Mines.
Whoa!
A juicy one, that one. 8 probe kills.
No reaction. Well, yeah, he only had 1 observer. Where was it?
Double Colossus, though. That's a lot of damage against this army. I'm not sure if ForGG can break this. There's quite a lot of Zealots, so there's a lot of buffering available, and until the Viking count is high enough...
Yeah, he's got to wait. I think he has to wait for the Vikings. There's the Burrow of the Widow Mines once again, though. He knows this army is very heavy Colossus based.
Oh, what did he do to the front?
Why did they stray so far forwards? But it still didn't die somehow. One Marauder goes forwards to finish the job, but that was way too scary.
I shouldn't have lost that Colossus, to be honest.
Ooh, almost lost the last. Another one there. There was a volley, goes right down on it.
Great micro here from ForGG.
Yeah, just keeps on dancing. Absolutely has to against an army like this.
I mean, the thing is, the Colossus doesn't have thermal lance, so it's jumping so far forward to actually get the hits off, which means the Marauders can jump for it.
Yeah.
I think StarDust may be broken now.
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, there's very, very little to his name now. Even if the unit pops from the Robo, it's only an Immortal to deal with this, not a Colossus. And the Widowmine's still there. Vikings land as well. He knows he's done so much damage in this location. But StarDust is going to try and hold on even further.
Yeah, he's not going to hold on, though. This should be game here for ForGG, and will equalize up this series here. Despite that 3rd base up the top right here, he's been broken. There's no Colossus, no Splash. There's nothing left.
GG.
Does equalize up this series. Well done there by ForGG.
Bit of an odd one, that one. Bit of an odd one in the end.
Very, very aggressive. It was because StarDust was always just one blow away from falling over. One extra hack onto the tree to knock it over. I mean, whatever. He was so close to dying at all points. So ForGG just like, all right, go, go, go. He's so close to dying, so close, so close, so close. And eventually managed to find a way.
So tying it up now, keeping his hopes alive to go 1st place in this group. And if he does, if it makes it a really, really healthy number of Terrans. I mean, we already have a healthy number of Terrans in the round of 8. But if ForGG is able to take 1st place off StarDust, I think that's an upset to a lot of people here. Yeah,
definitely. Not a lot of people pick ForGG to do this, to advance through in 1st place. I still feel for StarDust here to do so. But the next map here, interestingly enough, I wasn't following the veto process, but it's Catalina. It's the 3rd map here, which is vetoed out almost every single game here from Zerg players and Protoss players. As the Terrans do have a lot of space for medivac work here, but to be honest, ForGG's style really isn't medivac heavy. Definitely should be on this map. Doom drops, multiple drops from multi-prong attacks.
Yeah. It's I think overall, as we said before, that map was a bit of a blip with having let 8 medivacs out that quickly because he got the Robo. It's nice to be for him to be able to just say, well, may as well, your Colossi aren't coming out anytime soon. But I still trust in StarDust. I do still trust in StarDust as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why he didn't have thermal lance. Obviously, if he had thermal lance there, he wouldn't have lost the 2 Colossus, right? Because you wondered why
definitely
they were so far forward.
Yeah.
I did check that, but...
As they were pursuing the army later on in the engagement, it became very, very clear that they didn't have that thermal lance. It's like, why you guys should be shooting right now. Wait a minute. But anyway. Okay, so game number 3 loading up. Catalina is our map. StarDust, both of these players, 1 game away from advancing on to the round of 8 as our previous WCS champion looks to defend his title. Spawning down at the bottom right-hand corner, it's our red Terran, Representing Team Millennium, it is ForGG. And on the left-hand side of the map, we have our blue Protoss. Representing my insanity, it's StarDust.
Does StarDust now come to game number 3 with a plan here on Catalina? It's, I mean, for example's sake, if StarDust starts to take the third base, which is to the north here, his main base is going to be very exposed to drops. There's a lot of space available for ForGG to play here. And of course, in the middle of the map here, if any fights were to take place, that is favorable towards the Terran if they get a good position. But we'll see what StarDust has planned. He's experienced, he knows what to do at the right times. He is the reigning champion. He should not be losing this series. Of course, want to see the reigning champion try to defend his title, not in the round of 16. Of course, further on in the tournament. ForGG will open with Reaper to try to scout, figure out what StarDust is up to.
And overall, I think StarDust here on Catalina, as much as I was asking you in the previous games, like, does he do anything funky? I just still think he goes for something probably even too basey. I mean, we've seen him going for third Nexuses, the one in a normal manner on game number 1, but then second game, because it's merry-go-round playing to the map a little bit, it's going to be hard for him to establish a third Nexus as quickly as he would like to.
Yeah.
But it really didn't pay off for him too much during all of that. I think more so was his tech choices to begin with before the Robo that really kind of spelled doom in the end, even though he got some kills.
Yeah, it slowed him down a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, the DTs were decent, but fortunately, couldn't quite get to where he needed to be while the attack was going on.
Oh, well, StarDust, what are you going to show us? ForGG seems to be liking this 3 barracks opener at the moment against you.
And we'll open with that again.
Yeah. So I like to see that, to be honest with you. You can exert so much pressure early on, and ForGG is all about that when it comes to this matchup. Any matchup.
Absolutely. We'll see if he tries the concussive shells. Maybe he tries to vary it up a little bit and goes for combat shields, a later attack, but it could be a more dangerous attack. He could go for stim just straight away. Could play off double barracks, but it is favorable towards that 3.
He's already setting up for another barracks down here as well, as that Reaper's looking for a spot that his opponent spawned in. Noticeably right in the middle of the map, this probe, I guess it's just waiting for Reapers to pass, or when he sees the Reaper jump in, then he can go for a scout. But that's a very niche timing there for that probe to try and find his opponent's spawning location because of the Reaper opener.
Yeah, he's not going to get much information on ForGG here in this game, unfortunately, and that's actually quite a big thing here for StarDust. Not seeing if this is a factory or something follow-up. Sure, he can work on assumptions, but you never want to be doing that in a proper game of StarCraft. You work on assumptions, you're going to get bitten by what you're not expecting. And ForGG's in the main base, having a look around. To the probe line he shall go. No kills here, no scouting information either, really. And now StarDust has pulled his probe to the right-hand side.
All right.
And he will build a pylon.
Okay, then. Is this going to be a Stargate?
Yeah, by the looks of the position, yes, it is.
Yeah. It's going to be a bit annoying to spot. But not seeing 2 pylons there. I mean, he could use this Reaper for just overall map scouting here after not seeing massive amounts, which I think is probably going to be the go-to.
I really think that ForGG is going to be more interested in finding out what's inside StarDust's main base, more so than what's out on the map.
Because if he sees nothing, but there's still a lot of gas coming in, he could infer, you mean?
Oh, I mean, he would imagine that the tech choice is going to be somewhere inside the main base. And until he doesn't see anything for a long time, then he has no reason to go look around the map, I don't think. He already has plans to move out with concussive shells. I definitely don't think he's thinking about this right-hand side.
Yeah. Well, StarDust is trying to cover all bases and get his robo facility down pretty speedy off the back of it as well, so he's not too delayed, so he doesn't suffer the wrath.
But it's a really greedy style from StarDust, because what he's looking to do is play the normal robotics facility style, but squeeze out an Oracle to lower the SCV count to further himself in the game. But through doing all of this, he simply doesn't have any units once again. He's at 3 Stalkers very shortly. The Mothership Core's on the other side of the map as well. And ForGG's just going to walk up and just get a lot of damage done. This is not good here. And he gets the first Stalker Core as well. And this is so big for ForGG. The greed here from StarDust's build just Look at it, it's a slaughter.
He's going to kill a lot of probes here. This is a fantastic start for ForGG. He's already killed off 10 workers.
And now
during
he
all
goes
of
back
this.
down, he harasses the natural, that
Yeah.
pylon's going to go down, there's a probe down there as well. Not good here for StarDust, but if the Oracle still works and gets a lot of damage done, he can salvage the situation.
Exactly. Nice scan, actually, also to reveal the high ground so you can pick off another Stalker. And you're right, the Oracle has a lot of work to do. It goes in, and it's a naked mineral line here, so he can do quite a bit. He has the opportunity to.
Yeah, he's already got 6-7 kills, so pretty decent start there, but he's got to get rid of these units on his natural.
Yeah, trying to
with
poke
only
away.
3 Stalkers.
And not doing too badly, actually, against some of the Marine numbers here. The Mothership Core is going to try and aid, but he loses a Stalker in the process as well. He lost the Oracle in the main. There's another one in production, but it's 13 workers lost to 8.
ForGG's going to do this. ForGG looks like he's going to go through in first place. He's destroying the Nexus. There's so many more units coming across the other side of the map as well. Another Oracle goes in, but ForGG says, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you really have enough back at home to defend against all my units that are streaming over the other side of the map? And if he doesn't, then this game's going to end.
Exactly. If you can't actually hold off this, because he's been trading away so many units constantly to try and hold off the first push.
More gateways trying to come in, but the problem is his stim is going to be ready in 20 seconds as well. Sentry trying to get warped in to actually hold some time here. He does have Photon Overcharge. But if these units get into the main base, see that Sentry, that force field on the natural is key.
Yeah.
The Immortal is key.
And he's going to walk up here.
Cannot let these units get close to the main.
Probe's actually going to try and come off the line to actually hold this, but in the end, actually does a lot of damage, but he has happened a lot of damage. 28 workers have gone down.
Yeah, he sacrifices his probes there to hope that he can get more damage done with the Oracle, as he is trailing massively now when it comes to the income. 33 SCVs and mules, 35 SCVs and mules to 26 probes. But Stardust survives. The Immortal squeezes out now, and he builds another one behind it as well.
I mean, never count out the aggression of ForGG. He just keeps coming at you, and that's why, I mean, of course, he's got the Immortals on the way. He's like, well, I just need units. I need units here at this point. It's a brutal situation to be in.
Yeah, I mean, if he tries to squeeze out a Colossus, he'll have too few units. It's too expensive. He doesn't have enough money. And just would die, I would imagine. But the Oracle's still floating around, sees the fact that Medivacs are on the way. It's an extra SCV for his trouble.
And how is he going to deal with it is Stardust, because he has a lot of information. As you say, he has a lot of good information here. Just doesn't have the tools to his disposal to really do a huge amount with it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think he'll try to squeeze out the robotics bay very shortly here. Warps in 2 Stalkers, surprisingly. 3 Stalkers, so I thought he'd try to squeeze out the armor upgrade and then maybe the robotics bay. I guess he is a little bit worried now that Medivacs are out on the way and moving across the map. Does not want to take damage, but those are the next 2 things, I think. Armor and then the robotics bay.
Oh, this has not been spotted, though. Like, nice little
He's
spot.
pylon blocked.
He may be crumbling. A little bit of supply block here also for ForGG. He's freeing that up with 4 supply depots, but going in and killing even more workers, actually having to bring the Oracle back to deal with that. But that falls, and it alleviates ForGG back at home as well. If the Oracle is dead, then happy times.
Well, Widow Mines are being made now from a reactor. It's actually perfect against what we see from Stardust. And more drops going out to the map.
And it's Twilight Council over Robo Bay. So he's having to just, he realizes that there's obviously a threat there. He has to deal with it, but still not all the tools are available to him to kind of round out this game anytime soon.
I wonder if he's just going to go for Blink here and just try a big Blink Immortal attack, or I'm not sure, but...
Oh, catching an Immortal as well. This is a disaster for Stardust at this point.
I really feel that Stardust needs Blink.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the thing that he's aiming for. This Twilight Council Blink would make his life a lot easier against all these drops and this harassment that's going on, but he's just so slow. These units aren't really getting into position, but we'll see what he makes from that Twilight Council in a second as the armor upgrade's coming in. But the problem is this frontal attack from ForGG is getting more and more powerful. He's got a lot of units.
It's going to be Widow Mines. There's going to be extra Medivacs there as well. Unit count, 5 Medivacs already to complement this big Bioforce.
Yeah, trying to
Force
hold
fields
on.
have to buy time. Have to.
No Photon Overcharge currently.
Oh, tries to
2 Widow
around.
Mines.
Even if they don't kill anything, I mean, they're still denying mining time.
Lucky.
Oh, okay. So there's still another Widowmine in here. Tries to push up the ramp once again. He's really drawing the attention, Finn, here, of StarDust.
If ForGG picks up all these units and drops it in the main,
Yeah, I mean...
once these units are allowed to attack.
He couldn't even start Blink during all of this. He got the Twilight Council, but he couldn't even start Blink. He lets everything up. He doesn't have any more force fields. This is ForGG's opportunity here in Group D. He kills everything off. GG. ForGG moves on in first place here onto the round of 8.
And he does look happy with that. I think a lot of people are predicting StarDust and MC, but it's ForGG who squeezes out in first place today, which means we will have the rematch of StarDust and MC in the decider. Big game there, but congratulations to ForGG. That is a good result to him. He finds himself in another top 8, hopefully challenging for his 3rd semi-final, and if not more here. And as we mentioned it before, the realistic dream and chance of an outsider here is still there. It is still there for ForGG. If he wins this tournament, if he goes to DreamHack next weekend and does well there is a chance still. Of course, one game at a time for ForGG. But congratulations, first place there from Group D.
Yeah, I myself am a little bit surprised. I expected the Protoss to be powering through this group, but ForGG shows us that he is certainly no pushover. So I'm very, very happy for him.
Yeah, congratulations to ForGG there.
All right, so without further ado, we can go to Mr. Paul Shalona with an interview with ForGG.
Thank you, Kalaris. Yes, ForGG, you become the 5th Terran out of 7 players in the round of 8. Congratulations on your quarterfinal once again. Talk us through the first map, though, because it didn't really play out the way that you wanted it to.
첫 번째 맵을 자신의 설명한다면
첫 번째 경기.
네, 첫 번째 경기.
제 생각대로 무난히 흘러갔는데 졌어요. 제가 이해가 잘 안 돼요 아직.
I thought everything went the way I planned, but I kind of lost, and I still don't know why.
Okay, well, it's good. I have that all the time on the ladder, so that's absolutely fine. Map 3, had you figured out that he was playing as greedy as he was, and was that why the constant pressure?
마지막 맵에서 마지막 경기에서는 상대편이 너무 이제 그리디하게 플레이한 걸 알고 그런 전술을 하셨는지.
네, 서키 스타일이 조금 이렇게 부유하게 시작한 다음에 이렇게 운영을 하는 편이라 좀 타이밍을 노렸는데 우연치 않게 그 마들시코어가 제 앞마당에서 와가지고 그때 제가 이겼다고 생각을 했었어요.
I knew that StarDust is a player who likes to be greedy and then go into the macro game. So I prepared builds against that, and when I saw the mothership core at my natural, I knew I would win.
Okay, yeah, pretty early on. BlizzCon is, I guess, something a little bit too far away. You've effectively got to win WCS Europe. Are you thinking about that at all right now?
블리즈컨 점수를 봤을 때는 좀 먼 길이지만 WCS 유럽을 우승하면 또 좀 확률이 생긴 것 같은데 어떻게 생각하는지?
WCS를 성적을 잘 낸 다음에 또 내일 모레 드림핵을 가거든요. 그것도 성적을 잘 내기만 한다면 가능성 있다고 생각하고 있어요.
Yes, I think when I have very good results at WCS Europe, and also I go to DreamHack Stockholm, and when I get good results in that, I think I have good chances.
Okay. What is it that you have not done in your career that has led to you not winning a premier event? Because we always associate you with a player that can come and do fantastic things in TvT and go very far in a tournament, but why have you not won that very big event yet? What do you think's missing?
항상 보기에는 좀 챔피언 선수 같은데 아직까지 진짜 큰 대회는 우승한 적이 없는데 좀 자신이 생각하기에는 왜 그런 것 같은지.
뭐 실력이 아직 우승할 실력이 아니니까 그런 것 같아요.
Well, I guess I'm not as good as you think.
No. It's not that at all. We know how good you are. And we pray that you do very well. Good luck in the round of 8. We look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks' time. ForGG is the winner of Group D, mostly against the odds. 2 previous European champions have both fallen to this man. The Terran becomes the 5th, as I said earlier on, into the round of 8. That round of 8 draw will be coming up after our final match, which is next. Don't go anywhere. This is a big one. It's 2 champions going head-to-head for the last place out of Group D. StarDust versus MC is after the break.